There's a province in western China where people are afraid to speak. It's called Xinjiang. Coming here would change my life. Xinjiang is mostly desert with a number of high mountain ranges that surround it. The Chinese, for many years, it's been their Siberia. It's where they built a lot of their penal colonies. And it's the site of Lapnor, which is the only nuclear testing site in China. Xinjiang is also where they have the country's largest oil reserves. Xinjiang is also the homeland of 8 million Sufi Muslims. They are known as the Uyghurs, and they call this place East Turkestan. I came here to see what life is like for these Muslims in China. They speak a different language. They look very different from the Han Chinese, and most of them live in the far northwest of China in the Xinjiang province. They practice Islam, but it's a more relaxed form. The men typically, they drink, and the women do not cover up very much. But now the borders are open with Pakistan. To some degree, the Chinese do fear ideas will percolate in, and they may join sort of this global movement towards militant Islam. China took control of this region 50 years ago, flooding the area with immigrants from the overcrowded East. Chinese control gave rise to serious ethnic tensions. In this video, which was smuggled out of China, Uyghurs stormed a government building in 1995. There have been a series of riots like this. In response, Chinese police have cracked down, arresting Uyghur dissidents. The Chinese have called them Islamic terrorists. China has a long list of what they call terrorist organizations or splittist organizations that are Uyghur-based. There were about 20 Uyghurs caught in Afghanistan fighting alongside the Taliban. They have been held in Guantanamo for years, and recently Secretary of State Powell announced that they would not be repatriated to China for fear that they would be executed upon arrival. Independent reporting is forbidden in this part of China, so I decided to come as a tourist, undercover. We hired a Chinese driver to take us around.
Let's go!
Let's go! Our driver was Han Chinese, the majority ethnic group in China. He was part of the wave of immigrants sent to the region to develop it.
现在不错，还可以，挺好的。
He'd come there with the military and lived there for 9 years. He wasn't pleased about being stationed in Xinjiang, but eventually he got used to it.
我们不知道是要到这个地方来。一般他这个地方的条件比较艰苦，他不跟你说，他说了怕你不来。等到了才知道到新疆。到了以后我们下飞机，飞机场不是荒凉的很嘛？大冬天的12月份有雪，那个风吹得哗哗哗的，人感觉到心里面特别特别的冷清，特别不舒服。
He took us to a lake on the Pakistan-Chinese border. He was pretty open about how he felt about Muslims.
猪是维族人的祖先。对，猪是维族人的祖先，所以他们不吃猪肉。
喜欢结婚汉族还是维吾尔？
我肯定要找一个汉族的呀，找维族的话生活习惯不同。他们不吃大肉，我们要吃大肉，要找一个汉族的。
He kind of symbolized a lot of attitudes that the Chinese people have there.
Hello. How are you?
We were thinking if we went in as two pretty low-profile people, just went to the usual tourist spots, carried a very small camera, that we would be okay. The next day, we hired a Uyghur guide. We hoped he would give us a little more of the other side of the story. He took us around Kashgar, the traditional center of Uyghur culture and religion, and one of the oldest cities in Xinjiang.
Guess what is this for? Serene.
Smoking.
Smoking? No, you're wrong. You have 2 more chances.
With a candle, with snuffles.
No, wrong. Okay. Listen.
A clue.
This is actually the things for Uyghur babies pee. Okay, sounds funny, huh? It is. We have been using this for 1,000 years. And this for boys, and this for girls. The boys' little things goes in here. Boys, girls.
When the camera was rolling, he wouldn't say anything very interesting, but when the camera wasn't rolling, he would mention a few things that, for example, he said he really couldn't discuss politics. He mentioned that he'd been trying to leave the area for 7 years, trying to get a passport, but it was difficult for a Muslim man to do that. It seemed like he wanted to talk with us, but couldn't.